Alright guys, welcome back once again to Crypto. So Bitcoin on the 12-hour time frame had a retest of the 21 expansion itself, and until we are holding this level on a 12-hour opening and closing basis, the price action structure for most of the crypto assets are completely fine. However, if this 12-hour candle closes below $47,500 flat, we might teleport all the way towards $44,000, guys. Now that is going to be a 10% down move on Bitcoin itself from these current price points. And remember, essentially, if Bitcoin goes down by 10%, you know the deal, guys. Most of the altcoins will roll down by 25 to 30%, that matter, right? And essentially still be bullish in the macro structure. Now that's kind of crazy. The volatility is expanding on most of the crypto assets, whereas Bitcoin's volatility is still shrinking. So essentially, Bitcoin's volatility is about to emerge strong from these levels, right? And whenever Bitcoin is volatile, that's not going to be good for altcoins as a whole, guys. Remember, Bitcoin going volatile means that most of the altcoin BTC pairs are going to look completely hairwired. Basically, most of the altcoins will be directionless or maybe towards the upside. Alright, with Bitcoin roll into the upside, essentially your macro direction will be towards the upside, but with crazy amount of volatility, guys. Remember, we don't want Bitcoin to expand on the 12-hour time frame in terms of the volatility itself, guys. Now essentially on the options market, Bitcoin expanding from these levels on the options market would be a good play. Just going out for naked call or naked put exposure in the market, if you feel that the direction is going to go down from these levels on BTC itself, maybe go for naked puts, because if volatility expands from zero and the direction gets confirmed to the downside or the upside, that is when buying premiums in the market is going to work out as a whole, right? For the rest of the time, whenever the volatility is kind of expanding and the price action behavior is range bound, that is when you keep on selling the options, because most of the options, essentially 80% of the options, will expire worthless, which is why you keep on selling options until the price action stays range bound. On the other hand, when the volatility expands from zero, that is when buying options could work out as a whole, guys. Now we do have an option market on Bitcoin itself that is going to be on Deribit and on CMEs as well, on Delta exchange as well, for that matter. A lot of exchanges do offer Bitcoin options, and you see these kind of things happening on price action structure after, I don't know, guys. Look, this has been happening for the last time we saw that it was quite literally the last week of October, and we are looking at happening back again on a Bitcoin's price action. Now this essentially means that we could be looking at a crazy price action behavior. And remember, guys, out of these levels, when the volatility is completely zero, when you go for that premium buy, or maybe maybe a call option buy, or maybe a premium maybe a put option buy, and the volatility expands from zero, this is when you get paid the most, guys. Now essentially, just take a look at this piece of price action. Your volatility quite literally expanded from zero and you went towards the downside, and well, the price action literally capitulated because of COVID, guys, and that was completely different for that matter. But yes, you know the deal, right? This one expanded and the price action went down by, let's just say, 60%, 50%. Had you been long on put options, you would have made a massive killing out of options market, right? And similarly right here, guys, the volatility expanding from zero and the price action rolling for about a 20% move to the upside. I remember this one, 30% move to the upside. Yes, again, another killing. And guys, another volatility shrinkage right here, after which we did expand for a 50% move to the downside, guys. Now you can just talk about these things happening again and again on the price action. Volatility expanding from zero, you go to the upside. Expanding from zero, you go to the downside. Now again and again, guys, remember, the volatility expansion is not going to give you direction. That is what you have to figure out on your own. But these are your times when your, let's say, your risk is kind of minimal and your returns are optimal in these kind of situations where you don't have anything happening in the market and the price action either breaks to the upside or the downside. Essentially, if the price action keeps on rolling to the upside with volatility kind of expanding on the 12-hour time frame itself, that would mean that Bitcoin most likely will take down 60,000, and most likely we keep on rolling all the way towards 6-digit Bitcoin coming down the line. And essentially, guys, look, if I just simply talk about the daily time frame price action structure, yes, we are putting in higher lows again and again. So until you're holding $44,700 for today and maybe for tomorrow itself, most like the price action structure is going to look completely fine, and yes, we will trend on towards the upside. As of now, this was a simple retest, a simple shakeout which happened yesterday. Yes, most of the crypto assets went down by 20-25%. Why? the only reason being Bitcoin went down by 5%. Now, this is the volatility expansion. This is the hierarchy of volatility expansion which goes on in the crypto assets, guys. Now remember, you have to determine your exposure according to the sleep that you're getting in the night, right? Essentially, if you're setting in alerts for yourself for every single night, and if you're not able to, I don't know, guys, if you're not able to capitalize on your sleep itself, that means that you're doing it wrong, man. That means that your exposure in the market is something that you can't really digest, right? So don't go for that situations. Don't go for wrecked behaviors. This is another kind of wrecked behavior. Overexposing yourself in the market, especially with altcoins. Something might go wrong on Bitcoin by 5%, and that might just expand into other altcoins for about 20-25% to the downside or the upside. Doesn't really matter, guys. This is what happens. Bitcoin being volatile by 5% could mean that market could be shaky for a 20% or 30% move to the upside or the downside. Okay, so with that said, the structure is fine. We might be looking at a further continuation move all the way towards $60,000 coming soon on Bitcoin itself, until $44,000 and $47,500 are being held as a whole, right? Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum, and back again we had that drawing, guys. Oh, holy shit, let me just get rid of that real quick. Okay, so this is, I think, guys, it's been a very long time, right? It's been a very long time, and the daily is shrinking down. I do believe the 12-hour must be, yes. So Ethereum's volatility is going to expand like crazy, guys. Holy crap, this is not looking nice. I mean, okay, so price action structure is looking completely fine, but the HV, the historical volatility, is not looking something crazy is about to happen on Ethereum, guys. Now, I'm not here to pinpoint the exact time for you guys, but it looks to me like it is time to pay attention in the market, right? To be very clear with that fact, yes, it's the time to pay attention in the market. So if you have been just completely fine with holding your positions just like that, just sleeping around with all the positions, being completely fine with, I don't know, 10% down, 20% down moves, look, it's time to pay attention, because this is going to expand from zero, and whatever happens on Ethereum, you know the deal. It is going to be reflected upon most of the altcoins, and yes, the magnitude of the moves happening on altcoins is going to be way greater than Ethereum, right? Remember, guys, Bitcoin being volatile by 10% means Ethereum will be volatile by 20%, and other altcoins will be volatile by 30 to 35 to 50% as well, for that matter. Now, this is another example of Ethereum option markets as well. If you see these kind of signatures, guys, remember, this is once in a blue moon signature. The last time this one happened, alright, so Ethereum had this volatility signature back in July 2020. Holy shit, it's been more than a year, guys, and this is like nothing in terms of volatility. So if we expand from these levels, yes, we could expect a 50% move to the upside or the downside. Remember, this is not going to be telling you the direction of the price action, right? Remember, if we lose 3,000 to the downside, essentially that would mean, look, guys, let me be very precise, very brief about this entire fact right here. If you lose $3,000 to the downside and you see volatility ticking up on the 12-hour time frame itself, that would mean that maybe Ethereum is going to come back down all the way towards $1,700 once again. Holy crap, that would be some crazy volatile environment happening on Ethereum itself, right? And this is what we're looking at, guys. Now, this analysis is not to induce any FOMO, but this is just to give you a little warning about the fact that maybe just do a rain check on your exposures, right? Just go ahead and just figure out wherever the heck you are overexposed in the market, because this is not really an optimal situation to be overexposed, guys. This would have been a nice situation going on, right? This entire volatility, let's just say, not expanding would have been the perfect situation to stay in Ethereum markets just without any hiccups. But for the time being, you are expanding from zero and you are sitting in, I don't know, 618 itself at $3,400 levels. It's not essentially the optimal situation, to be honest with you. So the RSI on the 12-hour time frame has started rolling below the 60 reads itself. Remember, guys, we want that less volatile environment, and this kind of situation, this kind of RSI situation happening on the 12-hour time frame itself. And if the volatility expands slowly but surely, and the RSI gets above 60 once again, and we start rolling above $3,333 on Ethereum, then that would mean that the volatility expanding to the upside, and that would mean that we are going to be testing $4,200-$4,300 on Ethereum itself, guys. Remember, price action structure is important here, and this is going to be your horizontal level to the upside, and this is going to be your downside level support right here. 3,300 and $3,000 flat on Ethereum. Essentially, you do have a $300 to $400 range on Ethereum itself. Let the price action resolve itself to the upside or the downside, and then maybe take your decisions, guys. And I don't think it's going to be the perfect environment to overexpose yourself in the market. Maybe the times are back again to reevaluate the exposure that you have in the market, and maybe, I don't know, maybe cut your greed, to be honest with you, for this 10% range. Either resolve to the upside or the downside. Maybe this is time to be, and maybe this is the time to be cautious in the market, right? Okay, next up we have PolkaDOT right here, still maintaining the structure, still looking fine as of now. The daily was a retest of the 21. Alright guys, now if I do put on the 10 exponential itself, most likely this was a retest of the 10 exponential on the daily time. 5510, right? Yeah, yep. Alright, okay, so as you can see, guys, if we keep on talking about the moving averages, which are, let's just say, which are faster than your previous moving averages, you can see that the price action structures do behave differently along these levels, right? Now this is your early indicator that maybe we could retest the 21 exponential, and we have not done that as of now, guys. The 21 exponential is sitting in at $23.6 flat on PolkaDOT itself, and maybe we could retest this level. Losing 10 exponential or simple doesn't really matter. Means that we could be retesting the 21 exponential or simple itself, which is sitting in at maybe 10% from these price points. Yep, 10% from these price points means that the price action structure will be completely fine. Essentially, you don't want to lose this level on a daily closing basis, guys. Now this is just a simple price action structure happening on $22.4 levels. You don't want to lose that on a daily time frame. Essentially, doing that would mean that PolkaDOT is going to be very, very choppy onto these levels, and maybe we retest these range lows again at $18 flat, aligning with this entire horizontal support. That would mean that we could be teleporting all the way towards back here, right? Guys, most of the trends will be determined by Bitcoin and Ethereum's volatility, right? Essentially, just look at Ethereum and Bitcoin for the time being and let the rest of the market decide their own direction. I think that Ethereum will tell most of the things maybe before the end of the week itself, but essentially Ethereum rolling above $3,400 would mean good news for PolkaDOT itself, and maybe we teleport all the way towards 34. The point is the last breakdown for PolkaDOT was sitting in at $40 flat, and remember guys, if $3,400 on Ethereum has been taken out, most likely we keep on heading towards $40 flat, and maybe eventually higher up down the line as maybe $6 as your target on PolkaDOT itself. Until then, the price action structure is looking completely fine, guys. The daily is looking completely fine. Let's take a look at the small time frame and see for ourselves what's happening right here. I do believe that we have hidden bullish divergence. Yes, we have hidden bullish divergence between this entire zone and this entire price action right here. So in the small time frames, if we start losing this one, okay, so in the small time frames, if we start closing for our candles below $25 levels, maybe we're going to retest this level as a whole once again, and maybe we come back down all the way towards $22.4, guys. Remember, the small time frame structure in the PolkaDOT price action has started rolling to the downside. I do believe that the 4-hour time frame is kind of significant, but not that much as compared to the daily and the 12-hour time frame itself. So sticking to daily levels on PolkaDOT is going to be a better strategy rather than just going into, I don't know, maybe 10-minute or maybe 1-minute time frame and trying to pinpoint the tops and the bottom. I am sure as hell that the 1-minute time frame would be like a bull market. Look at all of these bull markets happening on 1-minute time frame, guys. Holy shit. Now remember, guys, the lower your time frame, the more whack job price action you're going to be facing, right? So if you don't want this situation, if you don't out, I'm in, I'm out, oh my god, I'm in, I didn't go out and I'm down by 10%. Look, if you don't want this thing to happen to you, I think just staying into maybe something like 4-hour time frame and beyond that is going to work out better rather than just, I don't know, diving deep into 1-hour time frame or 10-hour time frame itself. It's always going to look haywired. Your small time frames are always going to look haywired, right? Okay, so maybe we can talk about BTC USDT. Alright, BTC USDT on Binance on the second time frame, guys. Now let's just take a look at this one as well, right? holy shit, yes, there are people trading this time frame. Every candle is 1 second. I don't know how that works for all these people, but yes, there are people trading these second time frames as well. I don't know what amount of anxiety do you have to have in your brain to trade this one. What amount of anxiety control do you want to have in your brains to trade this kind of time frame? But essentially, this is madness. And yes, guys, look, this and my own personal trading behavior is mostly based on 12-hour time frame, daily time frames. And if I want to dip deep into these small time frames and maybe intraday trading for that matter as well, I would not go below 10-minute time frame, guys. 10 minutes is something which I consider as the I don't know. I would never do any analysis below 10-minute time frame for that matter, guys. And yes, there can be strategies that are working on 1 second time frame. It just depends on how well your system is defined and how well you have back tested your strategies, guys. Remember, people who are coming out profitable in second time frames are most likely back testing their strategies like crazy. I don't know by 1,000 times a day or something like that. And essentially the losses are in control, and the capital which is, I don't know, being traded in these amount of time frames is different, guys. Look, everything works, every strategy could work out. It just depends on how you execute in the market, right? For me personally, this time frame is just completely a whack job. This is just crazy, guys. This is something which I would simply stay away from that, right? Okay, so with that said, let's conclude on .USDT real quick before we jump on to KSM, Kausama for that matter, right? So guys, we did put in kind of like a speculative bottom on the 12-hour time frame itself. So essentially, you don't want to take this one to the downside, guys. You don't want to close your 12-hour time frame below $24 itself, because if that is done, most likely we come back all the way towards, holy shit, these levels are from the previous analysis itself, guys. Look, let me just get back to the daily time frame itself, and let's just simply talk about the daily price levels. This is something which we'll be looking at, guys. Now, once we lose this one, once we start wicking below this one, this is where we teleport to. And alright, now below this one would be a far-fetched opinion, guys. Remember, everything or most of the things depends on Ethereum and Bitcoin for that matter, right? Until then, the price action being held by $24 is going to be completely fine, and most likely we keep on moving, roaring to the upside with Ethereum trying to hold $3 levels, right? Okay, next up we have Kausama looking exactly like PolkaDOT right here on the price action structure. The daily time frame is looking completely fine as of now as well. I mean, essentially, guys, look, you do have similar structure going on: higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. This one keeps on rolling to the upside until your higher low structure is being maintained by the price action, and this one is looking completely fine, just like PolkaDOT, guys. Since this one is from the dot universe, the PolkaDOT ecosystem itself, I would be putting a lot of weight into this exact price point, sitting in at $286 levels, guys. Essentially the wick that we just put in, that the daily candle put in, right? To the upside, I would want to be looking at this price point, the closure. Essentially, alright, now this is the candle open. The previous candle open was sitting in at $328 levels. Now I would be really interested as to how the price action reacts onto this entire price zone right here. As you can see, right, this is a pretty obvious resistance, guys, coming in daily and maybe coming in at 12-hour or 4-hour time frames as well. So whatever KSM does at $330 levels flat is going to be telling a lot of things, guys. And most likely with PolkaDOT looking completely fine and holding on to some key structures, this one also is going to be I don't know, simply teleporting all the way towards this rejection high, sitting in at $500 flat. And until you are holding to $85 to the downside, structure is fine, and this one will trend alongside most of the market, guys. Alright, guys, with that said, let's wind up this video right here. I will catch all of you tomorrow. Bye for now.